Backyard Professor Chess videos. This game was a fun game. It was a difficult battle, but because of the way that we both used our rooks in the files, I got the advantage on my opponent early on, and then he, of course, returned the favor early on, later on, I should say. We had one heck of a battle. My opponent played the black pieces and I played the white pieces. Or I played the black pieces, my opponent played the white pieces, I meant. Good heavens, I'm getting to be schizophrenic playing all this chess, aren't I? I hope this wind doesn't bother this video. He actually gave me a king gambit, and I didn't accept it yet. In fact, I don't believe in this game I did accept it. I declined the gambit because this gambit's a tough gambit. Do I have that close enough so you guys can see that chessboard? I may have to, there we go, that's a little better. Can you still see my ugly mug? Yeah, you can. Don't pay attention to me, pay attention to the chessboard, man. Anyway, I declined the gambit, and I thought I was wise for doing so. If you accept the gambit, you can get into some big trouble when you're playing the wrong opponents, and I wasn't sure about my opponent, so I played it safe instead of accepting the gambit. He castles early. He's trying to get developed on the king side, so I castle king side also. With the king gambit, the advantage of the king gambit, so far as I'm aware, is that he has more space on the king side if he chooses to take advantage of that space. And it looks like he was trying to go early on for broke here. And I thought, well, I don't want to exchange my bishop. I'll keep my bishop for now. And he's playing a pretty solid game. I'm going to chase his knight away by pressing my pawn. And I know technically that weakens my king side somewhat. I'm well aware of that, but not really. It doesn't, it's not going to bother me. I push my rook over because I'm going to want to, I see a possibility for an open file here. So I want to grab that open file. And sure enough, my opponent does take that pawn. And stupidly, I retook it with my pawn because I should have taken it with my knight and had the knights exchange, but I didn't. He brings his queen out, coming right at my king here, and also targeting this pawn here. I pull my bishop up. He pulls his king back because I put him in check. Now I guard this pawn with my rook so that he can't just come and start wiping out my queen side here with his queen. He pulls his queen to here. I pull my queen out. He's really bringing pressure on with the pawns. I drop my bishop back. He's coming full force on the queen side. He's going to try to take my bishop. He's getting more space than I am. He's playing this very good. I bring my bishop out directly confronting his queen. I've got to try to stop his pawn advance. I also stole his queen. He can't escape now. No matter where he moves, he gets taken. Except for there. He must have missed that. That's too bad. He came up and took my knight. So I got his queen early on. So I'm a queen up, which is nice, but he has good thrust power. He's got my bishop. I come down here. He takes my bishop. He's got a passed pawn. I take it with my pawn and undouble my pawn so that I can have a pawn roller later on in the game if possible. He's going to chase my bishop away. I go ahead and take his knight with my bishop. I don't need my bishops this game. I want to have my knights. I've got his queen, so I'm ahead. So I'm going to pursue with everything I can, getting as much swapped as I can, and I open up this file for my rook. I ended up being the first one to be able to gain the open files with my rooks. Well, except for this one, but this file doesn't do him any good. So I'm feeling pretty happy about this. I come over to here and I decide I'm going to do a queen side thrust with my pawn. I'm going to go ahead. I've got this passed pawn. His rook's not going to take that pawn, so he's trying to develop more kingside space, which I believe opens up his king side. I bring my rook right down to here. Trying to use my open file as best I can so that I can protect my pawn so that I can free my queen up. I don't want my queen to be stuck defending this pawn. He's going to threaten my rook, of course. I come all the way back to here because I've got this open file and I can use it as I wish. I have a very wonderful passed pawn here, although I want to be able to push that passed pawn in here. He's bringing his bishop out to take that pawn. I bring my queen to here. Well, he got my passed pawn. He's got an open file. I've got an open file. I also have a queen down here in the center that's going to do him some enormous damage. Now, from this point on, he really gives my queen a chase. I was sweating bullets here for a while. I thought, holy cow, I hope I don't lose my queen. He pops this rook up to chase my queen away. I get myself another pawn. My queen's going to do as much damage as possible before she gets taken. He's threatening my queen again, and I'm going, holy cow, he's not going to leave me alone. I move my queen out of danger, and he brings his rook over to chase my queen again, grabbing an open file in the process. And I'm going, holy cow, man, the only safe place to dodge down to is here at this point in time. He will not leave me alone. He tries to come and get my queen again. I dodge down to here and go check, and I'm thinking, all right, I've got a bishop here. Wrong. He pops his rook right to there. And I'm realizing, you know, I've got to get out of here. He's going to find a way to trap me if I'm not careful. So I bring my queen all the way up to here, trying like crazy to avoid being taken, and he's pulling his king up off his 8th rank. So now that my queen's here, I think I can open this up to get his king. I've got a knight here, I've got a pawn threatening that pawn, and I've got my queen right here. I might be able to develop some kind of an attack on him. He grabs the 7th rank. Notice this. He grabs the 7th rank with his rook. He puts his rook to use. Now I decide, well, if he can, I can. I'm going to threaten his knight. He doesn't care about his knight. He brings his bishop up to threaten my rook and keep that angle on my king. So I take his knight, and now I have a chance to get either bishop. Well, that bishop's protected, but that bishop's not protected. He comes over here and takes the pawn, puts me in check, and forks my rook. Because he has the 7th rank, he's able to do that kind of a move with his bishop and fork. Now notice what kind of a rookie amateur stupid move I make. I pushed my king to here. I should have put my king here so that I could retake that bishop. I did that wrong. I was so astonished that he pulled that kind of a fork on me, and he's got my 7th rank, that this game is going back and forth. I really did this wrong. Well, I bring my queen down and take his pawn because I also have a 6th rank with my rook, and I'm going to make use of it with my queen. So I think at this point I'm getting pretty happy. Because I've got this file, the rank, I can put him in check again. He comes out of check. I put him back into check with my queen. He comes over to here to come out of check. I bring my queen up to take the pawn and put him in check. He goes out of check. I bring my queen over to here to take this other pawn. I'm slowly starting to obliterate his army while I'm putting him in check. Thank goodness. Come over to here, go check. He dodges back out of check. I bring my rook back over here to go check. He puts his bishop in front of my rook to block the check. I bring my queen back over here to go check. He brings his king up against my rook so that he can threaten my rook. That forces me to bring my queen to here to go check. He dodges his king back down. I'm able to bring my rook over to here. There's no check here, but I'm going to checkmate him shortly. He takes my knight with his rook. You notice he has a file here. He's got the 7th rank, and now he's got a file here. Although I can take his rook, he's trying to put his rooks into use as best he can. He lost his queen, but I only have a queen and a rook to work with. He's got 4 of his powers. Notice how he's trying to utilize all of his powers in open files and ranks. This is the correct way to use your rooks. Unfortunately for him, he knows the game is close. I get his rook. He brings his bishop back down to here to block off my king so that he can come over here and start checking me. So it's this close. It's a nip and tuck game. I drop my queen down to go check to the king. He pulls his bishop in between my queen and his king. I come here so that I can take that bishop next time. He drops down to go check. I'm able to move out to here. It's a nip and tuck game. It's very close. He takes the pawn with his bishop. And I'm finally able to nab him. I get him here, and he resigns. Check. And he resigns from that point. This game going back and forth, the idea of a coordination with the rooks in files and ranks, my fortune is I was able to use my ranks and files in a way better than my opponent could, but it was a close back and forth because he was using his rooks in the file as well as he could, and I was using my rooks in my files as well as I could. I was fortunate that I had my queen. I almost lost her. He was unfortunate in that he pulled his queen out early, but he lost her. But he used his rooks and played a very tough game. That, I hope, helps show you that when a queen is gone, your next most powerful pieces are your rooks, if you can find open files or create open files and then use those files and those ranks in your enemy's camp so that you can play a powerful game of chess. So thanks for watching my videos. Happy checkmating. And I will see you in the next video.